Hey everyone, welcome to week 4. I think it's going to be a fun week for you because essentially what we're doing is we're going to watch films, we're going to examine them closely, interpret the argument they're making about social class, and begin to kind of formulate our ideas and opinions for our essay that we'll be working on next week. So you have the option this week of watching one of 2 films. So if you have an Amazon Prime account, at least at the time this video is being made, you could watch for free a rated R film. It's rated R because of violence, language, there's sexual content in it, so make sure you're not watching with little kids around or anything like that. Bong Joon-ho's Parasite. I'm not sure if you can find that on another platform, that's fine. You can rent it too if you'd like. But it's an intriguing exploration into social class differences. So we have these 2 separate families that come from wildly different social classes, and they kind of enmesh together. And there's an argument that's being made once we see the interaction between the 2. Now, if you can't access Parasite for free, or just don't want to subject yourself to a rated R film, that's totally fine. Your other option is Baz Luhrmann's The Great Gatsby, which I'm going to make accessible to you through Canvas, not Blackboard. And if you're not familiar with this film or this story, it examines cultural and societal expectations that we attach to wealth and how our social context drives us to make decisions that can often be destructive. And just like there is with Parasite, there's also a lot of really contextual, kind of sticky arguments that are being made about social class. So as you're watching, jot down what those ideas are. Think about the argument that's being made. So like all of our other texts and conversations, I want you to keep in mind how the context of the characters is influencing their worldviews as well as the decisions that they make. I want you to ask yourself, how is social class guiding the story? How is one social class embedded in our sense of identity? And key, especially if you're watching these films, does money change people? Would money change me? And lastly, and maybe most importantly, what do I think about social class and how it functions in my life and society? Okay, so after you're finished watching these films, I want you to think about what the argument the film is making, and consequently think about building your own argument in relationship to the film about social class. What do you think about the argument that the film is making? Now, it's important to know that there is not a graded activity that is attached to this week. So you're just watching the film and thinking through how to build your argument. So along with this week with the films, I'm giving you some film reviews that you can watch. In fact, let's check those out. Some film reviews that you can, read to give you a better idea of how to talk about film, the way people are critically evaluating them. Please make sure that you watch the films prior to reading the reviews. That'll help you out a lot. And then lastly, this might scare you a little bit, but it's essay 1. Bada boom. It's not due this week. Keep that in mind. You're essentially preparing for it. So this week we're going to be working through the different ideas, and that'll lead us into composing the essay a little more next week. But I'll go through this real quick. Okay, so directions. Think. Choose one of the films from Unit 1. So Parasite by Bong Joon-ho or The Great Gatsby by Baz Luhrmann. After exploring all the assigned resources about your final essay, compose a thesis statement that answers the following question: what does the film argue about the nature of social class? That's the key. What is your film arguing about the nature of social class? I want you to pull out everything that you've learned from this unit, assess the argument that's being made, and tell me what it is. Then you're going to write. In 1,500 to 2,000 word research paper, it's not really a research paper. Don't let that scare you off, but you are going to be pulling in outside resources, and we'll talk about that here in a second, that explores the text and answers the prompt using quotes from the film. So make sure you're jotting down specific quotes or scenes, specific references to scenes, and an analysis that connects the examples to your overall argument. Okay? Then I want you to respond to the ideas and arguments of the film with your own ideas. Do you agree or disagree with the argument the film is making? Why or why not? And the key thing here is I think it's going to help you to make this argument your own personal opinion of the film in your conclusion. So finish your essay off by hitting us with your own thoughts, ideas, and opinions. Once again, be as specific as possible by using concrete examples and real-world experiences. I want you to use at least 3 quotes from the film, at least 3. And then I want you to use quotes from at least 3 outside sources that you gather from TCC's databases. I'm going to send you a video coming soon about how to use those databases. It sounds intimidating, but it's really not. It's essentially a way of making sure that you are using sources that are trusted, that are good, that are curated well, and they're not just some kind of, I don't know, Billy Bob's Tumblr or something like that. Okay, format. Make sure your paper is in MLA format with correct in-text citations and a proper works cited page. I'll also send you videos about how to do that if you're unfamiliar with it. Remember, your overall goal for this essay is to articulate the argument the film makes about social class. What the heck is this film arguing about social class? And then finally, to respond to the argument with your own opinion. What do you think and why? Okay? Now, for your own perusal, you can kind of look through the grading rubric here. This is how I grade papers. It's also how I grade your discussion board posts as well. So I'll let you look through that at your own perusal. Okay? All right, so that's everything that's going on. Make sure you watch the films this week and begin kind of developing those different ideas. If you go back to the intro, you'll see that I've got an outline for you of different things that you can do for this week. So after you watch the chosen film, I just want you to explore the resources with the film, which is like the review. Make sure you read through the directions and rubric. On Wednesday, just write out what you think the argument of the film is. What's it arguing? Thursday, write out what your response to the film's argument is. What do you think about it? And once again, I just want to remind you, this is not graded. This is you just kind of pre-writing and brainstorming. And then Friday, write out a thesis statement that assesses the film's argument. Okay? So your attendance this week is going to be based on me looking at your login rates, making sure that you're logging into class, and you'll be kind of present if you're logging in and watching the film. I can tell if you're watching the film or not, so make sure that you click on a film to watch, and that will be your attendance for the week. So prepare, do everything that you can to put yourself in a good situation for next week. All right.